designs.
Akika 10,000 designs.
Fantastic design.
I wore one. I was on TV. I received a lot of calls. And by the way, I think he should thank me because some guys from America ordered.
Really?
Many pieces. You ask him.
I remember I saw the comments people saying Manyora looks like President Kenyatta, the fabulous shirts and so forth. All right,
thank you.
Raila Odinga just recently unpacked a bag of goods, rather promises for the Jua Kali artisans and so forth. And Kenyans have come on board and say probably it's also the normal empty talk orchestrated during political times. But from how we look at it, he has brought forth a raft of measures that will revolutionize our Jua Kali sector and get it to its rightful place as a key economic driver. Would you now say, regarding to that it's high time we position Jua Kali as an economic driver that should be given much attention, unlike agriculture and so forth?
You can't abandon one just because one is coming up. We still need agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
We are basically an agricultural economy. All you need to do is value addition and marketing and all that. And it will be a very paying venture even for young people. Jua Kali is a sleeping giant.
Uh-huh.
I haven't looked at what Raila has to offer. I've heard it, but I haven't had the time to look at it. So, if you just ask me, I would say I would believe what Raila says is possible because this is a serious Kenyan.
But will you say now time is high for us to stop referring to it as informal sector?
No,
and
I'm coming there. First of all, the person coming up with the idea is a person you can trust. I haven't looked at the ideas themselves and how they work. But I've told you Jua Kali is a sleeping giant. Yes, it's informal. My position is, as a country, we need to do everything possible to formalize the Jua Kali and the other informal sectors. That way, the participants will reap more and the government will generate revenue. Secondly, be attractive to people. You know, for example, look at agriculture. If we made agriculture paying and attractive, a lot of the people joining the labor market looking for jobs will be in agriculture. Same with Jua Kali. If we made Jua Kali and other informal sectors, if we make them attractive, we'll reduce the number of people queuing for jobs. So yes, we must formalize the informal sector.
All right, well noted, sir. And he has also come up with a proposal for the adoption and implementation of the recognition of prior learning policy. Essentially what I'm talking about here is probably you have the skill set, but you don't have the paperwork or the qualifications for it, but you already, you're the custodian of the skill. So you should be rewarded as it's supposed to be and so forth. That will actually help in curtailing issues such as do with middlemen and so forth. Would you say now this one of now formalizing the Jua Kali people and really rewarding them for that?
But I'm surprised because that is already there. The Kenya Kenya Qualifications Authority is exactly established to do that. So maybe because it has not picked up, then Raila is amplifying it. It is there because you know how to do a job. You are a fundi, you can build something, you can construct a chair, a table, but nobody has ever trained you. You've learned it, you know it. Customers trust you. But there will be a place where they want somebody to trust that you can do it. Maybe if you're applying for a job, not a job employment. Let's say there is like a small tender. They will say they want somebody of a certain qualification. You can do it, but you don't have the papers. So what Raila is saying, we will look at a way of certification. We give you a certificate, even if you didn't go to school, but you can do the job.
All right.
Which is a good idea.
Let's advance that conversion and now look at the issue of now the middlemen and brokers who, for a Jua Kali to access the high-end markets, oftentimes it's an arduous task. Now, will you say now this is the final nail on the coffin that will say no longer issues of middlemen and artisans reaping peanuts from their trade?
You know, middlemen are there everywhere you go. Brokers are always there, but you minimize the damage. Just like the music people.
All right.
Producers used to milk them dry. But now there have been interventions and now you do your music, you benefit from there, you put it on YouTube and you earn money, the middleman is not there. So, yes, we need to do that for the Jua Kali artisans so that they can reap benefit. If you formalize the way we are talking, both in terms of certification and other ways of making a business formal, then they can even apply for the things direct. You see? And then through cooperative societies, through togetherness, they can do marketing of their products. They can even reach the big buyers. Yeah.
All right. But sir, how comes accessing the export certificate has become such a bottleneck for those Jokali artisans who've come on board and said, in as much as Raila is promising goodies,
Yes.
we still see the challenges of you going to export your good will be such a Herculean task. Because why am I saying so? You might meet the threshold that's needed in terms of quality and quantity and so forth, and consistency in supply. But better still, when you go to the export processing zone and all those authorities, they block you away and only cartels can now handle your goods on their behalf.
That is the problem of cartels. And that now is a place of a president. And I keep saying, one man or a woman at State House, once people know there's a man at State House, now attack him, Chezo. This broker, some of them will just run away.
How much of a man?
A really man.
And you think that's Raila Odinga?
Raila can try. He's the best we have. He may not be what I want. What I want can only be me. Or Raila in 2007. I'm not, or Mother Karua. Manyora, Mother Karua, and Raila of 2007. So Raila of now can do it much better than anybody else going for this job.
All right.
So we can trust he can do it.
All right.
Because one man will send cartels packing and dismantle some of the regulations that favor those cartels. You know, about export, I was surprised. I was really shocked. I thought people exporting things will be celebrated. I was shocked to learn there is so much bureaucracy and red tape.
Shackles.
I was actually shocked. I was shocked to learn that you can have something you want to import, to export. And instead of the country supporting you, celebrating you, they'll put a roadblock after roadblock.
And actually import fish with metal prices.
Oh, God.
And so forth.
So if Raila can do that?
I see. If you look at countries whereby their Juakali sector has thrived, we are talking countries such as Malaysia, Singapore, and North Korea, it's because they have invested much of their GDP, gross domestic product, in investing in research and development.
Yes.
Now, if Raila is to come on board, surely he clinch the top seat. Do you think that that first priority will be first allocating enough budget for research and development, and that this is actually something that will propel now his agenda for the Juakali sector?
Raila met university dons. I think it was, is this Safari Park? I can't remember. He met them somewhere. And they raised that issue. He told them, Raila is one of you. And Raila will put money down for research. But he also challenged them. Make Raila president. And Raila will provide money for research.
And so forth.
Yeah.
Are you trying to signal that probably we can now bank on Raila's kind of huge bilateral ties with other nations and rich relations?
Yes.
Is he better off at such more than Deputy President William Ruto?
Man, I tell people, and I was on TV yesterday. I did that sometimes, but I was telling people, how can you compare Ruto with Raila? Raila has ideas, but this guy, the other guy, is targeting voters, populist. He said nice things, but Raila is coming up with ideas. You can sit down as an intellectual or an expert and engage the ideas Raila is putting on.
But you need partners to invest in your idea. Does he have that capacity, the muscle, to bring on board?
To bring
partners, like very considerable partners like the UK.
Can that be an issue to Raila, really?
Because people are looking at William Ruto, they see he's a very audible person, yes, very outgoing, probably is much more in terms of networks than Raila.
Which networks? Raila's networks are international networks, and they are known. Ruto is yet to establish networks beyond Uganda.
Well, that's Herman Manyora for you. Before we take it to a close, we are looking at issues such as advocating for safe working spaces for Juakali. You live along Gong Road, one of your many places you stay around.
Yes.
And you see issue of affordable workplaces, really clean up space for them to operate is an arduous task. Many towns in Kenya are looking into the issue of now making matatus not getting to CBD as well as hawkers and many people in the Juakali sector. Don't you think it will be an arduous task for us to create a conducive environment for them to be in our city centers? Because you're trying to decongest them.
It must be a policy. Everything we do must be policy driven. And the policy is informed by serious thinking. You know? So what the target of this country should be to create meaningful jobs for young people. Not what do you call nduthi? But no. Mkokoteni, wheelbarrow. No, not because of politics. I have been a critic of even matatus in CBD. No city, what its name, can operate matatus. But these are Kenyans. We must engage on how to give them meaningful livelihoods. So the Juakali sector falls in the same way, the same arena. In other words, let us ensure we move our Juakali sector into the formal economy. And that way, they will have meaningful engagements. They will even earn more.
All right.
Yes.
But Nairobi, major of our town, Nairobi, Nakuru, then municipalities and county governments are looking at really economizing on the little space left, whereby they are looking at, let's push away Juakali traders off the town, we decongest them, we make them tidy enough. But once you push these Juakali traders along Gong Road, where do they go? Now they are looking at an issue whereby there's a conflict of interest. Urban centers want to be decongested and really tidy, but also they need a working space.
My friend, it is a question of thinking. That's why I keep saying this country requires thinking.
Big thinking?
Big thinking. You see, when hawkers are in town, you take them to City Stadium. Two things will happen. The place will become dirty. The City Stadium will die the way it has died. And the same hawkers will come back to Nairobi, the CBD. But if it's a well thought out idea, even where you take them, they will be happy.
All right.
Let me give you another example. Look at Sokomjinga, Naivasha, along Nairobi, Naivasha. You know Sokomjinga?
Yeah, I do.
There's a good market for them. But I think all of them want the original dirty place.
Yeah. And
because that's where they get customers. In other words, you must put all that into consideration. People say, let us build markets in the former 8 divisions of Nairobi. Langata, Kibra, Starehe and the rest. There are about 8. Corresponding to the roughly 8 constituencies. Of course, Kibera had more than that. But if customers are not there, who tells you they'll go and put their things there? The Juakali people, the hawkers are going where the customers are. So you must think about that. Other countries close a whole street one day. Like you can find the whole of Kenyatta Avenue. Hakuna gari, hawkers wamejaa pale Sunday. In other words, we must think. We must benchmark. And that's what I'm saying if I was the president. My ambassadors will bring me reports every 6 months of how much in terms of ideas they are brought to the country, how much in terms of business they are put on the table for Kenya, or I sack you as an ambassador.
No, being there.
That is the president we need.
I see.
Yes.
All right. The very last, there is need for us to invest in human resource development to meet the operational and development needs. You can agree with that. Jubilee administration has tried to come up with TVETs and really try to allocate as much as they can towards the sector. With Raila Odinga on board, should they clinch the top seat? Would you say, how can he do the issue? How can he handle the issue differently in terms of investing in human resource development for these people in the Juakali?
Luckily for Raila, he has a background in that line from Germany. It shouldn't be very difficult for him. I have known Raila as a person who works with experts. And I don't know about Ruto, maybe he's doing it. But Raila has a track record of working with professionals, even in his campaign. So when you look at whatever ideas Raila comes up with, they are well thought out ideas, well argued, born out of research and everything. So I have no problem, no doubt in my mind that Raila could be up to the task. But I must put a rider. If he behaves business as usual, he will finish 5 years in the State House, he will have done nothing. The beginning point are the men and women you recruit into government. It can never be the normal way of recruiting. They are short-sighted.
So
they just see around those circles.
Essentially, you're trying to say for Raila, Raila essentially is, in your eye, is a good man, but probably surrounded by evil men.
No, in terms of forming government.
He
must be aware this country is going down. To stabilize this country, to save it from decay, to save it from economic collapse further than it has, you need to go out of the normal reach. You stop being short-sighted.
Right.
You know, Uhuru is short-sighted. All of them are short-sighted. When they are recruiting, they don't see beyond that circle. Toto Fulani.
Yeah.
That will not help this country.
That's self-poison for the country.
I think somebody did it. I think it was Older Bush. Older Bush employee, I think George Bush, the older one. He brought people into government, people were shocked. I think it was him, I can't remember well.
All right, sir.
Yeah.
Well, that takes us to the wrap of conversation today here on Business Glide, touching matters Raila Odinga's bag of goods for the Juakali artisans and whether they are feasible enough, and if so, what timelines are we really looking into? Before I leave, allow me bring on board our fan of the week, who is none other than Brian Ambuli in Cairo, Egypt.